Thank you very much for coming in and visiting the store and the town of Panguitch.
Bobby Bryant's boutique Western wear store sits on the main drag in downtown Panguitch, Utah. The shop is a popular stopping point for tourists on their way to nearby Bryce Canyon National Park.
People love to sit here and drink their coffee from our espresso shop here called Rodeo Grounds and read the signs, and then they end up buying a few of them.
Bobby and her quirky store have been thrust into a uniquely Western battle over whether tourism and extractive industries like mining can coexist. As she chats with customers, 18-wheeler trucks loaded with coal rumble by, sometimes as many as 12 per hour. And that number will rise if a nearby coal mine is expanded. Every day, thousands of tourists descend on Bryce Canyon National Park to bask in its bizarre rock formations and experience some of the nation's darkest night skies. They pump millions into the region's economy. But the area is rich in more than just beauty. The Coal Hollow Mine, owned by Alton Coal Company, operates 10 miles from Bryce Canyon on 600 acres of private land. But the U.S. Bureau of Land Management is considering authorizing a new mine on adjacent public lands, effectively quintupling the area to be mined. Bobby and others in Panguitch fear the heavier truck traffic and the impacts increased mining could have on Bryce Canyon's air and scenery will drive tourists elsewhere.
I don't see mining and tourism working hand in hand when you're in small communities like this.
A Bureau of Land Management draft study of the expanded mine's environmental impacts was deeply flawed. It was roundly criticized by other government agencies, groups like the Sierra Club, and ordinary citizens.
We got over 170,000 public comments on the draft, and so we've been taking a look at those, analyzing the changes we need to make to our process as we move forward.
One major concern is that the government's analysis does not take into account the mine's impact on climate change. And while the mine won't be seen from the park, it is close enough to have effects on the pristine nature of Bryce Canyon.
Our principal concerns are air quality, the soundscape, and night skies. As proposed right now, I think we would see some impacts.
These are all the sites we've already done monitoring, not including 2011 throughout the park.
Jeff BRADYBAUGH is Bryce Canyon's superintendent. His mandate is to protect the park and ensure that future visitors will be able to enjoy all that it has to offer. BRADYBAUGH and his team from the National Park Service were one of the agencies critical of the study on the mine's potential effects on the park.
Particulate emissions, or dust, if you will impact, obviously, the visual range in terms of night skies and also the clarity in night skies.
We're going to show you the Milky Way tonight in the wintertime. And that's not something you can do on very many places on the planet.
Bryce's night skies are unlike anywhere else in the country, which astronomy experts like Ranger Kevin Poe seek to teach the public.
Bryce is a spectacular place to do stargazing. It's the darkest place in North America that you can drive a car on a paved road. And so right away, that's something special.
What's also special is the economic value of those dark skies.
When you use a very small multiplier effect for the amount of people we know stay in motels versus camp and the merchandise they buy, at about 15%, we figure we're putting about $1.8 million just from our astronomy presentations in the communities every year.
Payroll benefits, this is over the life of the project, would be about $400 million.
The mine's supporters have their own economic arguments. In response to an interview request, Panguitch's mayor convened a group of county commissioners, city planners, and economic advisors for a 2-hour presentation on the impact of mining jobs to the region.
Garfield County supports the Alton coal mine. We support the jobs. We want more jobs.
A coal mine does not grow a town. A coal mine is a boom bust. It is in every community in the United States. That's what happens.
And in Garfield County, which relies on tourism for employment more than any other county in the state, residents may be right to worry about killing the goose that laid the golden egg.
Bryce Canyon is the main attraction. It is the Bryce Canyon Motel.
And I think that, everyone would agree that, we don't want to see the park impacted, which may impact the tourism economy.
Once we start having people experience the noise, experience the traffic, experience the diminishing of the night skies, and that hits the social media, you can pretty much, in my estimation, kiss the tourism industry goodbye.
The final chapter of the new coal mine and its impact on Bryce Canyon National Park and PANGUITCH has yet to be written. The government is taking its study of potential impacts back to the drawing board and expects to have a new document in the next few months. In the meantime, Bryce Canyon's skies will remain as clear as our ancestors once saw them.